The crippled human crowd inside the alien arena was loud. Thousands of strange creatures sat in circles, cheering, laughing, and shouting. They had come to see blood, they wanted to see a fight. Bright lights shone down on the center of the arena, a large metal floor with deep scratches, broken weapons, and old blood stains. The gate on the left side opened with a loud bang. Out walked a human. He was thin. His face looked tired. One of his legs was metal. He limped as he walked forward. His skin was marked with burns and scars. His clothes were torn. One arm looked weak, almost useless. The crowd began to laugh. Is this a joke? One alien shouted, he can't even walk straight. Said another, he's already half dead. Food and metal pieces were thrown at the human, but he didn't react. He just kept walking. His face showed no fear, no anger, just calm. His name was Reed. He was the last human in the arena. A voice spoke from the loudspeakers above. Today's fight is simple, the voice said. The crippled human versus the arena champion, 1 round. No mercy. The crowd cheered louder. Reed looked up. Across the arena, another gate opened. Heavy footsteps echoed as the champion entered. He was huge, almost 3 meters tall. His skin was like armor, gray and thick. For red eyes glowed in the dark. His arms were long, and he carried a giant hammer made from star metal. He roared, shaking the ground. The crowd stood up and screamed. The announcer spoke again. The champion has defeated 80 fighters. He has never lost, and now he will crush a human insect. Reed's left eye blinked twice. A small green light shone under his skin. No one noticed. Inside his mind, a calm voice spoke. System check complete. Neural link active. Energy 84%. Reed didn't smile, he just whispered. Easy. Flashback 3 years ago. Earth was burning, cities were falling. The sky was full of fire. Alien ships rained destruction from above. Reed was part of Project Echo, a secret human military program. His team was trained to survive anything. They were enhanced with AI, special tech, and brain implants, but it wasn't enough. The aliens betrayed humanity. Earth was left alone. Reed's team was destroyed. He was captured and sold to the gladiator markets. For 3 years, he was forced to fight, to bleed, to survive. Now, he was the only one left. Back to the arena champion ran forward. The ground shook with every step. The crowd screamed with excitement. Reed stood still. 10 meters. 5 meters. The champion raised his hammer high. He roared and brought it down with full force. But the hammer hit nothing. Reed had already moved. So fast, it looked like he disappeared for a second. The champion turned, confused. Reed was behind him now, calm, silent. He raised his hand and gently tapped a spot on the back of the champion's neck. Just one touch, the champion froze. His body locked, his arms fell, his hammer dropped. The crowd went silent. Reed walked in front of the giant, looked him in the eyes. Your nervous system has 7 weak points, he said softly. I only needed 1. The champion dropped to his knees. Then he fell forward, face down, unconscious. Dead silence. Then someone in the crowd screamed. What just happened? Others stood in shock. No one laughed now. Reed turned and looked up at the royal box where the alien king sat, watching carefully. For the first time, the king looked interested. Reed raised his hand and made a fist. A silent message. He wasn't just fighting to survive anymore. He was planning something. He was sending a warning. Humans were not weak. And this crippled human? He had just defeated their strongest warrior without breaking a sweat. Asterisk the first. Strike. The arena was silent. The alien crowd, which had laughed just moments ago, now stared in shock. Their champion, a warrior feared across 10 star systems, was lying flat on the ground, unmoving. Defeated. By a crippled human. Reed stood alone in the center, breathing calmly. His clothes were torn, his metal leg covered in dust, but his eyes were cold and sharp. He wasn't even sweating. In the royal box above, the alien king leaned forward. His fur eyes blinked slowly around him. His generals and high lords whispered in fear. How did he do that? Humans are supposed to be extinct. This one is not normal. The king raised his hand. The whispers stopped. Bring him back. He fights again today. The prison chambers, 1 hour later. Heavy doors slammed shut behind Reed. Inside the cold cell, blue lights blinked above his head. He sat down slowly on the bench, his hand shaking slightly. He was calm on the outside, but inside, his mind was racing. The voice in his head spoke again. His neural AI assistant. Muscle strain, moderate. Energy level, 72%. Mission risk, increasing. Reed sighed. We need to get out soon, he whispered. Then he heard a soft hiss. A hidden wall panel slid open. From the dark came a strange creature, tall, thin, with glowing yellow eyes. It wore a tech visor and robes of deep purple. You are not just a human, the creature said. You are a weapon. Reed said nothing. The creature continued. I am Vec, a shadow dealer. I've watched every move. Your body may be damaged, but your mind is dangerous. You have something even the champions fear. What do you want? Reed asked. I want to help you escape, Vic whispered, but first, you have to survive your next fight. The arena. Fight 12 next day, the arena was full again. This time, no one laughed. Reed stood in the center once more. Across from him were 3 fighters, each from a different world. The first was a fire born from the lava planet Sargon, his skin glowing red hot, steam rising from his armor. The second was a tall, insectoid assassin from the cold moons of Rix-9 with fur blades attached to her arms. The third was silent, a telepath from the mind world Zevra, his eyes closed, floating a few inches above the ground. The announcer's voice echoed, today, the human faces a true challenge. 3 elite fighters, no rules, no limits, last one standing wins. The gate slammed shut, the crowd held its breath, then it began. The battle of minds and speed. The Fireborn charged first, lava dripping from his fists. Reed rolled to the side, the heat from the punch melting part of the floor. He moved fast. Too fast for someone with a metal leg. The insectoid assassin leapt from above, her blades spinning. Reed blocked one, dodged another, then used her own momentum to flip her over. Then the true danger came. The telepath opened his eyes. Reed froze. A sudden pressure hit his skull, like knives stabbing into his brain. You are weak, the psychic whispered in his mind. Your body is dying. Let go. Reed fell to one knee. Blood came from his nose, his vision blurred. Energy level, 39%, his AI warned. Brainwave attack detected. Then Reed smiled. He blinked 3 times. His AI responded. Neural shield activated. A pulse exploded from Reed's head. Silent, invisible, the telepath screamed and fell back, his mind stunned. His control was broken. Reed stood up slowly. Never attack a human brain, he said. Ours fights back. The crowd gasped. The psychic lay twitching. The Fireborn rushed again. This time with fury, but Reed moved differently now, like a shadow. He stepped aside, grabbed the Fireborn's arm and struck a nerve cluster in the shoulder. The Fireborn's body shut down, muscles locking. He collapsed, steaming. Only one left, the insectoid. Now afraid, she didn't attack. She backed away, blades shaking. You're not like the others, she hissed. What are you? Reed stepped closer, slowly. His voice was soft. I'm human. Then he did something strange. He didn't kill her, he just stared into her eyes. Run, tell the others, tell them humanity isn't finished. She dropped her blades and fled the arena. After the battle, the crowd was silent again. No cheers. No laughter, just fear. Reed stood in the center of the arena, surrounded by 3 broken warriors. He didn't raise his fists. He didn't celebrate. He just looked up, toward the royal box. The alien king stood now, angry, confused. He leaned toward his general. This human is a problem. Should we kill him now? The king shook his head. No, not yet. Let's test him further, send in the next level, and place a bounty on his head. Shadows watching far from the arena in the deep halls of the Empire's control center. Dark eyes watched the fight on a large screen. A hidden group of high-ranking alien warlords sat in silence. One of them whispered, if he escapes, he could bring the old war back. Another added, he must not reach the truth. But one figure in the corner smiled, or maybe he's exactly what the galaxy needs. The mind of a human. Sky above the arena was dark now. Lightning flashed far in the distance. A storm was forming on this world, not just in the clouds, but inside the Empire itself. People had stopped laughing, they had stopped cheering. Now, they were watching. Everyone wanted to know one thing, who is this human? Reed sat alone in a high-security chamber deep beneath the arena. His hands were chained, but his mind was free, working, calculating, learning. His body was injured. He had bruises on his chest, a cracked rib, and his metal leg needed repair. But his eyes were sharper than ever. His neural AI whispered softly. In his thoughts, enemy communication detected. 12 cameras in this room for hidden lasers. 1 sleeping guard, escape possible in 27 seconds. Reed didn't move, not yet. He was saving his strength, waiting for the perfect moment. That's what made him dangerous. He didn't fight like the aliens. He thought like a human. Flashback, Project Echo. Years ago, on a broken Earth, Project Echo was born. While most humans were building bigger guns, Project Echo built smarter minds. They trained soldiers to survive any environment, solve puzzles under fire, and make decisions under pressure faster than any machine. But Reed was special even among them. His brain was fitted with an adaptive learning chip, technology that could mimic any opponent's combat style after only one fight. He didn't just fight enemies, he learned them. Present meeting the hacker that night, while guards changed shifts, the wall in Reed's chamber slid open again. A small figure stepped out, young, thin, with glowing tech goggles and skin that shimmered like oil. It was Nara, a rogue alien hacker from the Outer Rings. She had been watching Reed since the first fight. You're smarter than they think, she whispered. But you won't survive. What's next? Not alone, Reed looked at her, eyes tired but alert. Why help me? Because you're human. And they killed the last one who helped me. She handed him a small chip. This can unlock your AI's full capacity right now. They've placed limiters in your mind. Reed stared at the chip. Then, without fear, pressed it into his neck port. The AI inside him surged, limiter removed. Memory unlocked, protocol vengeance activated. He remembered everything. The betrayal of Earth. The alien generals who promised peace, then dropped plasma bombs on human cities. And one face among them. The alien king who now ruled this arena. Reed's jaw tightened. Then we're not just escaping, he said. We're going to bring this whole place down. The next test, the mind game. The very next morning, Reed was summoned again. No arena this time. Instead, he was taken to a room full of glass walls and floating platforms. It looked like a maze in the air. The announcer's voice echoed, "Today, the human will face the maze of minds. No weapons, no fighting, just survive the game. Most die in 10 minutes. Reed stepped inside. The walls shifted. Doors opened and closed randomly. Lights flashed. Sounds of screaming echoed through hidden speakers. His AI whispered, "This is a psychological test. Mental traps, hallucinations, memory attacks. Stay sharp." The maze was designed to break the mind, not the body, and yet Reed moved calmly. He memorized the pattern of moving doors in seconds. He used echoes to calculate the size of the rooms. He blocked the memory attack signals with his neural shield. Then, the final level came, the illusion. He turned a corner and saw his old squad, friends long dead, bleeding, reaching out to him. "You left us," they whispered. For a moment, Reed's heart froze. He wanted to run to them, to speak, to cry, but deep inside, he knew, "This is not real," he said out loud. He closed his eyes, took a deep breath, then stepped forward. The illusion shattered like glass. The maze was over. The crowd watching on screens across the empire couldn't believe it. He broke the unbreakable maze. No one has passed level 7. He passed all 10, and he didn't even flinch. In the royal tower, the alien king slammed his fist. He's too calm, too clever. This is not normal. This is dangerous. The real plan begins back in his cell. Reed looked at Nara, who had hacked into the arena's security cameras. "We're inside their system now," she said. "Your performance made you famous. The whole galaxy is watching." "Good," Reed replied. "Then let them see what comes next." "What's the plan?" Reed leaned forward. "We won't just escape. We're going to hijack their mainframe. We'll turn this arena into a weapon. We'll burn their lies down." A whisper across the stars, far away, across the stars. A broken signal was received by a hidden satellite. A voice came through, full of static and strength. "This is Reed, last of Earth. Message to any survivors: I am alive, and I am coming for them. Humans are not pets." The arena was silent. Reed had completed the maze of minds. Something no creature in the Empire had ever done, not with strength, not with violence. With thought, with will. With the kind of mental power the aliens had long forgotten. He had become more than just a fighter. He was now a message. To the slaves in the pits. To the workers in the shadows. To the spies watching from behind the stars. Humans were not extinct. Humans were not weak. Humans were not pets. The golden cage. Reed's new cell was no longer a prison. It was a golden cage. The walls were made of polished steel. The bed was soft. Food was served. No chains, no guards, but it was still a cage. Above, in the control tower, the alien king watched. "Make him comfortable," the king ordered. "Feed him. Praise him, flatter him, make him loyal." The arena officials agreed. They sent gifts, armor forged in the stars, medals of victory, even servants. But Reed rejected it all. One day, a high-ranking alien visited him. Skin like polished stone, voice deep and full of pride. "You are a champion now," the alien said. "You belong to the Empire. Your past is gone. We can give you a new name, new life. All we ask is obedience." Reed looked him straight in the eyes and said just one word: "No." The alien frowned. "Why not?" Reed stood, limping slightly on his metal leg, but tall and strong in spirit. "Because I'm not a trophy. And I'm not your pet." Secret meeting, the forgotten ones. That night, with Nara's help, Reed broke through a tunnel in the floor. An old maintenance shaft hidden behind the shower unit. It led deep beneath the arena, where cameras couldn't follow. There, he found them. Others. Dozens of fighters who had lost their battles in the arena, but they weren't dead. They had been taken underground, used for experiments, tech upgrades, body part harvesting. Broken, but alive. A one-eyed soldier from the ice planet, a half-synthetic woman from Mars colonies. A child who never spoke, with fire in her eyes. Reed stood before them, shocked. "They said you were gone," he whispered. The one-eyed soldier laughed bitterly. "No one ever leaves. They keep us, test us, feed on us. We're not warriors to them, we're animals. Reed's jaw tightened, his mind raced. Not anymore. He said. What do you mean? Someone asked. I mean, we fight back, but not with swords, not in their arena. We take this place from the inside, we hack the gates, we free the minds. We shut down their control. How? The child asked. Reed looked toward Nara, who nodded. With this, she said, holding up a data crystal, it's a virus. One that spreads through their comms, their screens, their feeds. It shows the truth. Reed added, what they've done, what they hide, and when the galaxy sees, they will rise. The message. The next morning, Reed was called to the Grand Arena once again, but this time, there was no opponent. Instead, a floating camera drone hovered above him. It was a live broadcast to the Empire. Billions were watching. The announcer spoke. Proudly, today, the champion speaks. The strongest warrior in the galaxy will share his loyalty to the Empire. The drone zoomed in on Reed's face. He looked calm. To calm. Then he raised his hand. This message is for every planet. Every system, every slave and soldier. You think humans are extinct, but we are not. You think we are beaten, but we are not. You think we serve you, but we never will. He ripped open the chest plate of his armor, revealing the data crystal. Blinking red. You want a show? Then watch this. He threw the crystal high into the air. It exploded, but not in flames. In light. Holograms filled the sky, recordings of alien tortures, slave camps, secret chambers, screams, chains, executions. The crowd gasped. And across the galaxy, millions began to question everything. The response. Protocol Omega inside the control tower. Alarm screamed. The king stood, shaking with rage. Shut it down. Too late, a guard said. The feed is everywhere. It's spreading to outer systems. Civil unrest is rising. Then kill him, now. But it was too late for that too. Reed was already gone. He had escaped the arena during the chaos, with Nara, with the broken ones. They moved like shadows through the vents and tunnels. Guards searched. Drones scanned, but Reed had vanished. The rise begins in a quiet moon near the edge of the Empire. A small radio signal whispered through space. This is Reed, calling any hidden human cells. Calling any free species who still believe in truth. The Empire isn't invincible. They bleed, they lie, they fall. It's time. The rebellion had begun, not with fire, but with the mind of a human. The hybrid hunter. For today's, the Empire was quiet. To quiet. No new arena fights. No royal speeches. No broadcasts. The crowd waited for their champion to return. But he didn't. Reed was gone. The man they once called a crippled human had become the galaxy's most wanted fugitive. The hunt begins inside the throne chamber. The alien king stood before a black screen. His generals waited silently. A deep, metallic voice spoke through the shadows. You failed to control him. We underestimated him. The king replied, but we will end him now. You won't. We will. From the screen came a code. Ancient, forbidden, protocol, unit-0. A hidden chamber deep under the Empire's capital opened. Inside, in a cryo-tank, floated something monstrous. Once a warrior. Once a champion. Now something else. The hybrid, a creature built from flesh, metal, and hate. Part alien. Part machine. Part human. Who he used to be years ago. The hybrid was known as Dren. A powerful fighter from the same arena where Reed had first arrived. He had never lost, until the Empire used him for something darker. They tore out his emotions. Replaced half his brain with combat AI. Fused his bones with star metal. Gave him a new purpose. Hunt, track, eliminate. He was not sent to capture Reed. He was sent to erase him. Refuge under firemen. While Reed and Nara had taken shelter in the slums of Zaros, a junk-covered moon where tech smugglers and rebels lived in rusted towers and shadows. The rebellion was growing. Small groups were rising across outer systems. Reed had become more than a name. He was now a symbol. But Reed was tired. He sat in a broken hangar, fixing the wires in his leg. Nara worked beside him, tracing signal patterns. They'll send someone after you, she said, not soldiers. Something worse. Reed nodded. He could feel it. He had seen how the Empire reacted to threats. Not with mercy, not with law, with weapons. Then we don't wait, he said. We prepare. Rival of death hybrid reached Zaros silently. He didn't use ships or alarms. He dropped from orbit. Like a meteor, he hit the ground, stood, and began walking. Every step sent signals through the earth. He could smell Reed's chemical trail from miles away. Inside his helmet, multiple voice channels played at once. Data, heartbeats, heat signatures. His target was clear. Reed, status active. Threat level, maximum, elimination, priority 1. First contact at night, in the scrapyard edge of the city. Reed heard the sound, a soft hum. A ripple in the wind. Then, silence. Too much silence. He turned to Nara. Run. She didn't ask why. A flash, and the ground behind them exploded. A dark figure emerged through the smoke. The hybrid stood, red eyes glowing, claws out. Shoulder cannon charging, you cannot run, human. Reed rolled to cover as the cannon fired, barely missing him. The fight began. The chase through the ruins. They ran through shattered towers, ducking under broken sky bridges. Reed used his AI to skim movement, predicting the hybrid's attacks, but the hybrid wasn't just strong, he was learning each move Reed made. The hybrid mirrored it, adjusted, evolved. He's adapting, Reed muttered. He's like me, but faster. No, Nara said, hiding behind him. He's not like you, he's empty. The hybrid cornered them near a fallen fuel tank. Reed had seconds. He reached for his last tool, a magnetic charge. He tossed it under the tank. Hey, Metalhead, Reed shouted. The hybrid turned. Boom. The tank exploded. Fire lit up the night. Reed and Nara escaped into the tunnels below. The human choice. Hours later, deep inside the tunnels, Reed sat in silence. He was bleeding, his systems were low. His AI whispered warnings, vital signs, unstable, enemy proximity. Close. Reed looked at his reflection in a broken screen. Am I becoming like him? He asked. Nara shook her head. No, he's a machine pretending to be alive. And me? You're a human, choosing to stay alive. Reed nodded. He wasn't fighting just to win, he was fighting to protect what made humans different. Choice. Emotion, memory, even pain. Final showdown. Part 1. At dawn, the hybrid found them again. This time inside an old power station. The battle was brutal, fists against blades, mind against machine. Reed couldn't overpower him. But he didn't need to. He led him into the station's core, where electric fields were unstable. The hybrid charged, ready to kill. Reed ducked, dodged, pulled a cable from the ground, and jammed it into the hybrid's back. 20,000 volts. The hybrid screamed for the first time, and in that scream was a voice, a human voice. Reed helps. Reed froze. The hybrid's human side was still inside. The line between man and machine stared at the hybrid, now shaking, sparks flying. What did they do to you? He whispered. They erased me, kept me alive, made me watch your Dren. I was. Reed stepped closer. I can disable the control chip. I can bring you back. No, the hybrid's voice cracked. Use me against them. He handed Reed a memory core full of Empire secrets. This is how you burn them. Then the hybrid shut down, finally free. Empire's fear back on the Empire's moon. Alarms rang again. The king received a transmission. Reed appeared on screen, holding the core. You sent your best, and I turned him into your worst mistake. You called me a cripple, but you forgot one thing: humans evolve. He ended the call. The rebellion had a new weapon now, and the galaxy was listening. Asters, the last human stars, were quiet for the first time in years. Systems across the outer rim fell silent. No broadcasts, no arena games, no royal speeches, because everyone was watching him. The crippled human. The rebel. The man who defeated the hybrid hunter. He shouldn't be alive, said one warlord. He shouldn't be leading, whispered another. He shouldn't matter, but he did, and now they were afraid. Flashback. Before the end. Before Reed was a prisoner, before he was a fighter, he had been a captain, a soldier of Earth's defense force. He stood on a ruined battlefield, New Geneva, a city of glass and steel once called the heart of human unity. The sky above had burned purple. Alien ships hovered, pretending to be allies. The Treaty of Five Worlds had just been signed. Peace they had promised, but it was a lie. The aliens had come to protect Earth instead. They surrounded it, and at 0 hours, they bombed it. Reed watched helplessly as cities were turned to ash. Billions died, and worst of all, no other species came to help. Present truth revealed. No, inside a small rebel base on the desert moon of Veda. Reed stood before a table covered in maps, stolen data, and holograms. Beside him, Nara inserted the core from the hybrid hunter. A voice played. This is High Command. Execute extinction protocol. Humanity is to be erased from history. Everyone in the room fell silent, even the rebel aliens, the ones who once feared humans, now looked down in shame. Reed's voice was cold. They didn't just want us gone, they wanted us forgotten. He turned to Nara. Broadcast it. The fire spreads within hours. The message was everywhere, played on pirate frequencies, smuggled into slave camps, hijacked into entertainment streams. Billions of beings watched as the truth played out. Human cities burned, human ships blown apart by supposed allies. Reed's final stand on a collapsing platform, fighting with broken bones to protect civilians. And the voice of a general saying clearly, eliminate all humans, they are too adaptive, too dangerous. What was once a rumor became a rebellion, not just for humans, but for every race the Empire had stepped on. The Empire strikes back. The alien king, furious and desperate, ordered a mass execution of suspected rebels. Cities were locked down, entire planets went dark. He called Reed's message a forgery. But no one believed him anymore. His power was breaking, and he knew it. Bring me the human, he hissed, alive or in pieces. I don't care which, inner conflict, symbol or soldier at night. Reed sat alone on a quiet cliff looking out over the sands. Nara approached slowly. You did it, she said. You started something they can't stop, but Reed didn't smile. Then why does it feel like I'm losing myself? What do you mean? I came here to survive. Now I'm leading armies, giving speeches, sending people to die. They chose to follow you. Reed closed his eyes. What if they chose wrong? Nara placed something beside him, his old Earth uniform burned and torn. You're not leading because you asked to. You're leading because they need to believe someone made it out alive. They need to believe that Earth didn't die alone. Reed stared at the stars. Then it's time to finish this. A new alien Seth. Next day, Reed met with leaders from 5 other rebel factions, alien warriors, hackers, ex-gladiators, even former Empire officers. He placed a new plan on the table. Not just to fight, but to take the capital. You want to bring the war to them? A general asked. No, Reed replied. I want to end it where it started. The arena? No, Reed said. The throne world. The storm before the storm. In orbit above the rebel moon, hidden inside a stolen Empire warship. Reed stood in front of a screen. He was broadcasting live across thousands of systems. His voice was calm, steady, human. This is Captain Reed of Earth. If you can hear this, you are not alone. We were betrayed. We were nearly erased. But we are still here, and we are done hiding. The Empire fears us because we are not perfect. We feel, we fall, but we learn, we rise. And we fight back. He looked straight into the camera. I am the last human. And I am not afraid of the Empire anymore because they're not gods, they bleed. And I'm coming to remind them. Revenge of Earth. Throne world was silent. Not with peace, but fear. For the first time in over a century, an enemy fleet appeared above the skies of Volcar Prime, the heart of the Galactic Empire. Ships of every size hovered in formation. Some were stolen warships, some were built in secret by exiles. Others were held together with scraps and rebellion, but all followed one man. Reed, the ghost in orbit inside the command deck of the rebel flagship. Reed stood still, watching the planet spin slowly below. His eyes were calm, focused. His right hand, a new cybernetic limb made from the hybrid's core, clicked softly as he gripped the edge of the table. Around him stood generals, hackers, gladiators, aliens, and outcasts. All had come to this moment for one reason. Today, Reed said, we end it. Nara stepped forward. Empire defenses are active, orbital cannons locked, no warning, they'll fire the second we move. Reed looked around the room. They want us afraid, they want us quiet. He turned toward the window, staring down at the golden lights of the capital. So we'll be loud. Operation Eclipse's plan was madness, but madness was the only thing the Empire didn't plan for. Reed didn't send his ships straight down. Instead, they blinded the planet, sending hacked satellites into the upper atmosphere, crashing the Empire's sensor grid. In a single moment, half the capital's security went dark. Then the real strike began. Drop pods rained down like comets. Rebels in stealth suits appeared inside command halls. Drones jammed communications. Inside the heart of the city, fires lit up the night sky. And at the front of it all, walking through smoke and steel, was the last human. The fall of the Throneth Empire's palace was built to feel eternal, made from black crystal and gravity-forged stone, but no wall is strong against truth. Reed and his strike team entered through the underground passages, the same ones where he had once been a slave. This time, he wasn't crawling, he was leading. The halls echoed with alarms and the screams of guards. Blood mixed with sparks on the floor. Ancient statues of long-dead emperors cracked and fell. And finally, he reached the throne room. The final confrontation. The alien king stood alone, his long robe trailing behind him, for eyes burning with hate and fear. You think this is your victory? He spat. You think you're a savior? Reed stepped forward. No. I'm not a savior. I'm the last thing you see before your lies die. You're just a relic. A broken soldier clinging to a dead planet. Reed's voice was steady. You made one mistake. And what's that? Reed raised his arm. Behind him, rebel ships swarmed the skies. You thought killing Earth would kill humans, but humans don't die easy. The king roared and charged, a sword of light in one hand. His other arm transformed into a bladed cannon. But Reed was ready. They clashed, blade to blade, memory to memory. Each strike was a lifetime of pain. Reed fought with rage, but also control. And then, in a final move, he dropped his weapon, let the king stab him in the shoulder, and used his cybernetic hand to reach inside the king's chest and crush the power core inside his armor. The king fell, dead. The throne was empty. The Kostride dropped to one knee, bleeding badly. Nara rushed in. So did the others. We did it, she said, holding his arm. It's over. Reed looked at the stars through the shattered roof above. No, he said softly. It's just beginning. The message to the galaxy. 1 week later, across Every system, every screen, every planet, a message played, a simple recording. Reed stood before a blank wall. No throne, no crown. This is not a new empire. We don't rule. We rebuild. I am not your leader. I'm just proof that you can stand again. Earth is gone, but humanity lives, not because we were the strongest, but because we refused to kneel. The legend begins. Reed disappeared shortly after. Some say he died from his wounds. Others believe he went to the edge of the galaxy to find a place to rebuild Earth. But the rebellion he sparked never faded. It became a movement, a symbol. And in the darkest corners of the universe, where chains still rattle when someone whispers about hope, they tell the story of a broken man with a metal leg, a human who made gods bleed.